I don't know why, but you are watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
Who am I, you ask? I was created in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the waste of a dying world. I was bestowed with an insurmountable task: bring peace after decades of death, persecution, and chaos. I am a grandchild of war, destined to help two camps which hate has fueled for far too long. Surprisingly, I am not alone. Have an odd bunch to make the road a little more bearable. Come with me, to bring hope where there was despair, respect where there was resentment, creativity where there was destruction. I am Pinocchio, and this is my story.
In the heart of a major city, in a place raised to honor Earth's past protectors, the world will again learn, sometimes, superpowered intrigue doesn't stop at the grave. Galaxy Memorial Park, Volume 1, beginning crowdfunding Memorial Day 2025.
Hey, yo, you know what time it is. It is Christmas time round here. And yeah, you know I do this every year. I retire hat A and wear hat B for this time of year. We have an announcement tonight on the FreeWheeling Friday show. We have a new host of this show, and I've been trying to get this guy to bring a show to the network for a while, and I guess I was approaching it wrong because I needed to offer him a show, and I did, and here he is. Everybody say hi to Ryan. Welcome to the network, bro. What's up?
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's good to be here. I'm doing good. It's been good. I did a show earlier tonight. It was a lot of fun, meeting a fandom. You can check that out whenever you want. And yeah, it's good to start a new chapter. It's good to dive into something familiar, but also a little bit different, you know, with the madness, brother. Yeah. But you know, it's all fun and games. And you know, this is my wheelhouse, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what I can bring to the table. Maybe bringing on some friends of mine to this show. Maybe I can get some familiar faces back on here. Maybe I can get some people who live out in the West Coast. You know, it's only like what, 8 o'clock their time, 11 o'clock our time. So my Californians who normally can't make it to my shows, you know, during certain times of the week and the weekends, they can come on this one because it's probably better for them time-wise. So we'll have to wait and see if they're willing to sign some new contracts. We'll have to wait and see. My people call their people. But yeah, no, it's good to be here, man. It's Friday, and it's Friday. I ain't got no job and I ain't got shit to do. So I might as well just, you know, do this after I'm done my 7 to 9:30 show.
Well, I'm just saying it's kind of apropos the guest we have as well, because it's the end of Zed on this show. It's the end of Zed on this show. What is up?
How ominous! Oh my gosh, it's the end. It is.
It's the end of Zed. I'm checking out. But I'm leaving this show in great hands. I am going to hang out tonight because I want to talk to Eddie. I didn't get to talk to him a couple weeks ago. We had a timing snafu. We didn't get out here together, but I do want to hang out with him tonight. But yeah, going forward, this show will be hosted by Ryan. You'll probably see a new thumbnail. You'll probably see some different stuff. That's okay, because that's what happens when I give a show away. They get to make it theirs, right?
And you certainly got a good track record of that, Pops. How many people took over shows, right? Glory's show, for example, and Tuesday Morning Brew. So, yeah, Ron, you got some big shoes to fill, but I know you can do it. Reading your resume, man, it's
yeah. Well, you know, this is a late show. It's the middle of the night. Half the people are asleep. Half the people are drunk. The other half are still trying to figure out what show this is. So it's going to work out for all audiences everywhere around the world. So because there's 50 million time zones, so it could be like 2 a.m. one place, could be 5 o'clock in the afternoon another. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities for new audiences to come into this thing, man. So I just hope I do a good job and just electrify as only I can do. And
excellent.
You know, like I said, if I get some of my peeps on here, some of my familiar faces to help make the transition a little easier, and then I get some new faces up in here, because I'm always looking forward to meeting new people. I always look forward to that. But it'd be nice to get some familiar faces up in here in the middle of the night. Be like, yo, it's 11 o'clock. Let's party. Let's go. So, you know.
Not only that, but it's like, a lot of your people don't know us. A lot of our people don't know you and your stuff. And this is part of the networking.
Yeah.
And crossing the streams, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. And the next thing you know, we're going to bring on a whole box of, that's a big Twinkie. So, you know, we're going to have some big Twinkies on here. So
dogs and cats living together, all that.
Oh, yeah. Happy 40th anniversary to those guys, by the way. Ghostbusters turned the big 4-0 earlier this year.
Can you believe that?
No, I know. It's crazy.
Man. Well, I'm embarrassed to say I saw that in the movie theater, so I'm going to date myself.
At least one of us was alive when this thing was
I know, exactly. And actually, my brother took me to see Empire Strikes Back, so I
had to take
there.
my leg to see that.
Dude. Speaking of which, end of Zed, you know, next year is going to be the 45th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, I heard about that.
That's a big one, baby. We're going to be celebrating that on And I Quote channel, so you may want to tune in for that, brother.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, out of all the Star Wars, right? That's the one that I think people always point to the most, right?
Yeah.
So that's the anniversary. I think it's going to get more traction than the other one. So I know I'm in.
Yeah, we got a double feature for you that either weekend or both. What is it called? Back-to-back weekends. So we got the 45th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back, right? And then we also got the 10th anniversary of a film I really like. I know some people don't, but that's all right. Force Awakens turns 10.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm looking forward to that because I'm a huge Force Awakens fan. So
Star Wars fan.
This is one where you and I would That's one thing where you and I stand on opposite sides of the
Okay.
teeter-totter.
Okay. All right. Hey,
I ain't gonna go into that. We can do a different show about that. We're gonna talk about End of Z. My question though for Eddie right now is this campaign over or is it still in like?
No, it's over. Actually, it was over the day before Thanksgiving. You know, it's my first ever Kickstarter. It's my first ever comic that I created. Even though I am an artist, you know, I actually bought into professionals for this one, a real comic artist, because I'm not a sequential artist. And yes, my first campaign, and it was successful, Pops. I got to tell you, what an experience. I've been on so many shows, a lot of your colleagues, and you know, tried getting on your show, Pops. But you know, we had some miscommunication. Certainly wish I could have gotten on your show, but no worries. Listen, at the end of the day, I feel honored being here, Pops. I really mean that. You know, your reputation feeds itself. I mean, so many people know about you and speak about you in glowing ways. So it's good to be here finally. And also in Ryan's first show, man, I could be the I set a record here. You know, I'm making history here. How about that? We'll put it that way.
It's true. Yeah.
I was hoping that this was still in that what do they call it? After backer phase or whatever, where the late backer phase. I was hoping it was still running because I really wanted to show this to people. I'm going to show it to them anyway.
Sure. Well, listen, there's going to be more to it. This is the first of 3 issues, and it's an amazing story. You know, if I can give you the pitch, you know, tell you what it's about, you'll see what I mean. So, and it's a story about a robot who crash lands in the South Bronx in 1982, and 1982 was a crazy time for the city. Not only because it saw the beginnings of the crack epidemic, which, you know, started in New York and eventually spread, nationwide, unfortunately, but also saw the birth of the hip hop generation, where hip hop music came out, graffiti came out, as well as fashion. So I thought it'd make an interesting story to have this robot with no memory, badly damaged, land in this environment. And then you will see him actually, you know, figure out his origins and how he's connected to this place. But more importantly, you're going to see what his destiny is as he's down here, because he's down here for a reason. So it's been a 2-year project. It took me a year to write it. It's actually a movie. I made it as a movie screenplay, and then I had to condense it down to make it into a comic screenplay, because as you guys know, big difference between a movie screenplay and a comic book one. And then, as I was telling you before, though I'm an artist, a graffiti artist, I am not a sequential artist. So I had to bring in the big guns and got some really great artists that shared the vision with me, you know. And the pitch line is, it's basically a Wild Robot, you know, that movie that's out now, meets The Warriors. I don't know if you remember that movie, The Warriors of the 70s, you know, the 80s, The Warriors. And it all takes place all in one night, and all 3 episodes will take place. I love those stories that take place all in one night or one day, like American Graffiti, for example. 24. Yeah, I mean, it's so amazing how
Jack Bauer.
All of those movies that take place within 24 hours is within a night. In this case, you know, I think make a big impact. So cool. Kickstarter went great, man. I really met this community for the first time. Though I've been listening to you guys, I've been listening to your show, Pops, for years, as well as, you know, the whole crew, you know, Lori Calcaterra, you know, Medina, you know, Written Ralph and his show. So all of these people I've been following along, and then right when I was about to get into the scene, that's when I, you know, really kind of honed in what the community was about, and boy, was I pleasantly surprised. When this community is one of the most caring communities I've ever dealt with. I mean, really is. Everyone is just so positive and so supportive, you know. Well,
I mean, I've seen some people that aren't real positive, but you know, we won't talk about them. The people that get it, and they're always trying to go forward and have fun. Sure. Those are the people I'm kind of gravitating to now. I went through the whole drama thing, part of it 2 years ago when I first came in, right? 5 years ago when I first came in. For about 2 years, I was easily dragged down into that crap.
Okay.
But I realized that crap don't sell books.
Yeah. Gotcha.
It might get somebody followers and YouTube subscribers and super chats, but it doesn't help you sell books. And I want to build something that helps you guys sell books. Right?
Would you say there was more drama then than there is now? Or is it like...
Oh, no. No.
It's still out there.
It was really bad for a little while, and some people gravitated away from it. Some people made a living off of it.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't see that. Like I said, I'm out here trying to help you guys sell books. When this started, it was because COVID had shut everything down. Nobody had tables to set up. Nobody had stores to put books in. Everything was pencils down and shut down.
Yeah.
And that was when I started doing what I do, trying to get you guys seen.
Excellent.
You know, where you can't getting you seen and starting an argument means only half the fans are going to like what you're doing.
Correct.
You can't go out and start arguments. You got to promote books. So that's what I do. I bring you guys out. I let you tell your story. We talk about your stuff, and I try to avoid all that crap. And if I am talking about it, it's on a show by myself called "What's Your Issue?" and all that.
Right. You got a show specifically for that. I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
clever title for a show. Yeah,
it's perfect because the guest drives the show. Whatever they want to come out and talk about.
Right.
They want to talk about their comic, issue 3 or issue 300 Spider-Man. I don't care. Or, you know, whatever issue is bugging them today.
or how life crazy has gotten, because sometimes people have more issues than Rolling Stone.
There you go. There you go. Matter of fact, one of the people in the chat during the show today said they had too many issues to be a guest on the show.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
By the way, that's funny that Flip City Magazine would say, "I just come here to complain." Oh, thanks.
See?
Yeah. So if you're gonna come here every Friday at 11 when I'm hosting this show, and you're gonna complain about me or complain about something I'm doing on the show, I guess that's fine. I mean, haters are gonna hate. By the way, Flip City Magazine, it's good to see you because you were on my show not too long ago. So it's good to see you, Flip City.
Yes.
You know who you are. You know who you are.
Christy's pretty awesome. Look, I met Christy, and that led to like another one of those, I call them snowball moments, where something small rolls downhill and gets big really fast, right? Meeting Christy and Kaz and Batman and the rest of the beer men was one of those moments for me, because it introduced me to a new platform to promote on, to put our shows on. It introduced me to the person who ended up being my business partner in this mess. You know, I mean, so meeting Christy over at Flip City was definitely a snowball moment, and we love it. And we love her.
Real cool.
You know, I want to play this video, though. I've been trying to for like 10 minutes.
Thanks, boss.
Because this video is good, you guys. If you haven't seen this, you are definitely going to love this video. It was one of those where Lori went, "Pops, have you seen this?" Serious business, you know. So everybody check this out. Oh, give me my full screen. Yeah. Come on, play that funky. What's it doing? Is it gone? Oh, there it is. Okay.
My name is Eddie Lema, and I'm the creator of End of Zed, a project I've been working on for years. The story follows a robot who crash lands in the Bronx in 1982, severely damaged and with no memory, as he navigates one of the city's most turbulent times, shaped by the rise of the crack epidemic. He also discovers the powerful, positive force of hip-hop.
Where am I? Party people, are we ready? 3, 2, 1.
End of Zed isn't just another comic. It fuses the rebellious energy of New York City with a gripping dystopian narrative. This story delivers visually striking action and powerful themes. If you're into bold, unapologetic storytelling, then the End of Zed is for you. By backing this project, you're not only helping bring Zed's story to life, but you'll gain access to exclusive rewards. I can't wait for all of you to experience Zed's world. Back my project today and become part of this amazing journey.
Most excellent. I got to tell somebody else about this. I got to talk to Tim about this. I don't know if you guys saw earlier, but we had a debut show on the network tonight. The ID show, which is my nephew from Phoenix. He's a hip hop historian, a hip hop artist.
Cool.
And he started doing a show tonight that's sports and hip hop and the connections between them, stuff like that. But he's going to really like this book.
Excellent.
So I just sent him a message. That's you heard me typing. I sent him a message. This book on this show. You got to check it out. He's going to like this, I think. I do. I love this whole nation, the indie nation. I don't call it a community because community is too small. And there are so many people in the indie nation that I have never met yet, haven't talked to yet. Ryan knows what I'm talking about, man. I've done a few thousand interviews, and there's a few thousand people I ain't talked to. You know.
Yeah, the list is endless, but we'll get you there eventually in the next couple 100 years. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it'll
take a minute. It'll take a minute, but we'll get there.
It will definitely take that. It's crazy. I lost my screen share. I got to pull that back.
Gotta love technology. By the way, I agree with Flip City. That was good animation there, Zed.
Thank you. Yeah, that was actually my media guy. His name's Matt Seeger. We knew that in the, one thing about this is my first time again making a comic, so I can't give a lot of the reveal away. And so a lot of the panel, a lot of the great artwork I couldn't really use. Hey, there's Lupin's, all right. And so it's kind of hard when you actually create a video and in your first episode, right, your first issue, and you can't include everything because I don't want to give away the plot or certainly what happens to him at the end, because I certainly leave on a cliffhanger in the first one. So there's an art to it. There's an art to how much you can show, and then but still you need to show enough for people to want to buy it. So, but so much time was taken in everything from his character design, which took me over 3 months to do. Even this cover here, we needed a cover that represented that he's running against something. It's the end of Zed, and in this case, he's running against time. If you notice little sneakers there on the wire, kind of reminiscent of what you'll see in any city, especially in the 80s. There's wires on the thing there, so wires on the sneakers on the wire.
It's awesome, dude. I'm sitting here. How many pages is this?
It's 28. It's 28 pages, and yeah, it was a thrill to make, that scene that you see here. If you scroll up a little bit, you see.
I just wanted to see who all was on your team. Yeah. This is me being me. I got to know who all you're working with.
So the two main artists is Lucas Assis. He is an artist from Brazil, and color is G. Sabino. And what an incredible privilege working with these dudes. As an artist myself and as an art director, it's kind of hard for me to kind of just hand off the script to someone and have them do it. So I had to have a lot of control in it. So I had to make sure they were patient enough to work with me, and thank goodness they were. And they came in with their comic book expertise and really took it to another level.
Dude, the art is awesome. I'm just saying, this runs side by side with anything out there.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, it took a lot of time. One of the reasons, Pops, I chose the colorist G. Sabino is because as I was telling you guys, the comic takes place all in one night. So I knew that colors were going to be very instrumental in the story, especially at night. Colors react very differently at night than they do in daytime, and particularly with reflections. And boy, did these guys hit it, especially with a lot of the references that I gave them. So
beautiful. That color pop right there is beautiful. I love that. That's a solid look. And then the palette darkens a little bit. See, I like this. They know what they're doing. You got to. They know what they're doing.
Absolutely,
no doubt. So you had some different covers. Oh, yeah. I really like that one.
So there's an artist, Harrow. He's actually from the West Coast. He's originally from Brooklyn, but he's now on the West Coast now. And I wanted like a graffiti-like character. And I did the end of Zed in graffiti words because I'm a graffiti artist. And so I did that, and he did the actual robot. And then, I wanted to create like a variant, graffiti cover, and it worked out great. A lot of people ordered it. And yeah, I'm looking forward for them getting their hands on that. Yep.
So you had some rewards and all stickers, and yeah, I like the stickers. Those are, see, your guy's a chibi without even needing to be chibied.
Well, you know what happened was Lori was really instrumental in helping me create the Kickstarter, because one of the first things she told me was, Eddie, keep it simple. It's your first one. Keep it simple. Don't offer everything in under the stars. And that was the best advice she ever could have gave me, her and other people. So simplified. I know people like stickers. People, of course, like the PDF version as well.
Always leave the millions of people wanting more, my friend.
Yes.
There you go.
That's marketing 101. Always leave the people wanting more, because every time they think they're out, you pull them back in. So you got to pull a GF. You got to pull a Godfather 3 on them, man.
A Pacino. I hear you, man. I hear you.
And I tell people about this too. This retail bundle. I don't care if nobody got it the first time or nobody gets it the second time. Eventually, you're going to get somebody that bites on the retail bundle, and that means your books are going on a store shelf.
Yes.
Okay. And you didn't have to lobby somebody to put them on your store shelf or anything, right? Just put these retail tiers on your campaigns, people. Some store owners actually look, especially in our group, because we have store owners in our group. That's why I encourage it. So people, yay, you never know. Johnny might pick these up, put them on the store shelf. Virgo might pick these up, put them on his store shelf. Casey might pick these up. Like I said, we got some store owners in our group that, will see this because we talk about it. So always put the retail tier on your campaign. I don't care who you are, anything. That's putting it on the store shelf without even having to do the work.
Yes.
And
luckily I got 2 people to do it. 2 retailers actually reached out to do it. So it's going to be great.
Cool. I'm assuming one of them's in Texas.
No.
Lori's dude didn't jump on that?
I don't. What was Lori's dude's name? Which comics place? I don't think it was Texas. One was from Jersey and one was from New York. So.
Okay, no, definitely. Definitely not from the one I'm talking about. Lori has a comic store owner that always gets her retail too.
Okay.
And I was just wondering if it was him or not.
I'll double check, Pops. Yeah.
He's down there in Texas. You might have got, I don't know, because we have people.
I did get a lot of Texas people, yeah. Including Lou Ponza, I think, is on now. I think
yes.
Lou Ponza is,
Lou is in Texas. Yes, she is.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
And Geekman, who do 2 shows on the network, Dustin said, looks good, Eddie. Looks good.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
I'm really bummed out that we didn't hook up before your campaign ended. I'm glad you did get on Lori's show before that.
Yes.
So, we did get to see you once on the network. But look, man, going forward, when you get ready to do book 2, you get a hold of me a month ahead of time when you're in sign up.
You got
it. When you still got people signing up, get a hold of me so we can get out ahead of the game.
Sure.
Get some people on your mailing list and stuff before you even get going, right?
Sure. And I learned a lot, to tell you, Pops. I really learned a lot of in terms of what the process is and everything, man. And I'm still learning. I mean, you guys, and again, it goes back to how the community is just so open and supported. Like, you guys don't hold back your secrets. You guys, kind of tell everyone this is how a successful campaign can run, and this is what you do with your story and highlight it. So these are all great things. I've certainly learned from you guys. Trust me.
Even like ideas, okay? I come up with an idea. It's not something I'm going to implement. I'm not writing a book, okay? But I come up with an idea for somebody's campaign or something. I tell them, hey, you should try this. You should do this. And if they like the idea, then they try it and they sell some books and they come back and they go, thanks, Pops, your idea sold some books for me. Sweet. That's all I'm trying to do, right? I had fun doing this.
Sure. And that's just like you did. Just like the advice you gave on the retail there, right? Someone else is starting it. That's great advice that if maybe you didn't say, you wouldn't encourage them to do it. So it's good stuff.
Just do it. Yeah. I've had so much fun helping people. I guess it's the only way to say it, right? I've had so much fun helping people, trying to help people sell books the last 5 years. I can't see myself doing anything else going forward in my life. This is it. This is all you're going to get for the rest of my life is me building this network, putting people like Ryan to work, and showing off cool stuff like what Eddie does. That's all you're going to get.
I mean, we don't call them Santa Pops for nothing. So
yeah. There you go. Yeah. It's like I said the other day. I was like, man, I don't have a lot to give. All I have is my time. And sometimes it feels undervalued. Okay. Everybody knows that. They don't feel like they make enough for the time they put in on something, right? I ain't never made anything. So it's like that's never been one of the criteria for what I'm doing is how much I'm making, because that's how much
But Pops, you left a legacy, man. I'm telling you, Pops, a lot of people know you. I was telling you this before. You're synonymous with the game. People know you and how you help people out. And trust me, even, your name precedes itself. So hopefully you know that And hopefully you know how much you appreciate it, because really, I'm not the only one. When you hear people's show, I always notice, you know how I notice it, Pops? When I'm on someone else's show and you pop up. And everyone, hey, Pops, how you doing? Pops, what's going on? It's like, you know, like a relative, man. And
he's kind of a big deal. He's only been around for like 600 years. So Pops knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two.
There you go.
See? And now, okay, I've kind of dominated the first half of this show with Pops and Pops talking, but I'm going to let Ryan take over and interview Eddie for the last half of the show, and we're going to give y'all just a little taste of what you got coming in the future.
Oh, great. No pressure, right? Okay, guys. All right, marker. All right, take one. All right, never mind. Sorry, this isn't a movie set like I was used to. No, but I do want to say thanks to Geekmen Masters of the Thunder Nerd saying, welcome, Ryan, to the madness. Thank you, kind folks. Appreciate you all. Appreciate the warm welcome we got in the chat earlier tonight. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. So... Wow, end of Zed. You know, when I think of the word Zed, I'm thinking of Lord Zed from Power Rangers that I grew up on as a kid, because Lord Zed was one of the biggest villains in the history of the show. So
sure, absolutely.
Funny you call this thing End of Zed, because I'm like, is this guy trying to tell me something about the 90s, or is this going back to the end? Never mind. I'm a 90s kid. I'm not ashamed to say it. The 90s are fucking awesome. Yes. They're always going to be awesome. Did I just curse on national TV? I'm sorry. But
I got to tell you though, Ryan, you know,
yeah.
The more I get away from the 90s, the more I'm appreciating it more. I just want you to know that.
You.
And I'm more of a 70s, 80s kid, you know.
That's
but
fine.
The more I come back from the 90s, you're right, man. You got something there, man. You got something there.
Well, we had Power Rangers, we had Light Up Sneakers, we had Pogs, we had Tech Decks, we had Are You Afraid of the Dark? We had, you know, some big movies like Shawshank and Forrest Gump beating up all the Oscars. We had, gosh, what else did we have? Beverly Hills 90210. I mean, we had we had Seinfeld, the greatest sitcom of all time. Hashtag that's a fact, not an opinion. I mean, because it's about nothing. It's a show about nothing. So the 90s were very, very good to me. So anyway, let's focus on you for a minute here, Eddie boy. End of Zed. That's an interesting title. So when I think of the 80s, I am thinking of neon colored lights. I'm thinking of really good music. I'm thinking of synthesizers, you know. I'm thinking of the Terminator score by Brad Fiedel, which is one of the best scores of all time. That's what I just said, all time.
Okay.
The Terminator's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Wow. All right.
Because I know a lot of people put T2 ahead of that, and I understand that, but the Terminator, you wouldn't get T2 without the OG.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
So you got to give credit where credit's due, folks. If you don't do that, we got issues. Flip City just said, me too, Eddie and Ryan. I love and miss the 90s. Yeah, it was such, I mean, we had Saved by the Bell, okay?
Yes.
We had Zach Morris, we had Kelly Kapowski, who every man had a crush on back in the day. I mean, who did? By the way, Tiffany Thiessen, if you're watching this, we still love you, and you have aged gracefully in the last 35 years. Anyway, I'm sorry, Eddie, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Eddie, what were some of your favorite TV series growing up? Anything stand out to you aside from the fact that you love to live in the 80s?
Well, I mean, gosh, I'm so glad you mentioned TV. And boy, 80s is a great time for TV as well, too. You got to understand, I think some of these, and boy, I'm going to sound like an old timer here, Ron, but
doesn't matter. Age is just a number, brother.
You're young whippersnappers. You didn't know this, but when your show came on Thursday, like let's just say one of my favorite Dukes of Hazzards, okay?
There you go.
It came on Thursday, 8 at night. You had to be there. And if you weren't there, guess what? You missed the show, man.
You had to wait until the reruns in the fall.
Correct. In the fall. That's right, Pop.
Yeah.
And you had to remember when they came on and everything. So, boy, was I tuned in front of the TV. Dukes of Hazzards. I mean, all those shows of the 80s before, you know.
Let me ask both of you a question. Tell me one show that ran from beginning to end that you never missed an episode.
Oh, man. It could have been Dukes of Hazzard for me. And maybe the 18. Maybe.
I know which one mine is. Like right off the top of my head, I know one that I did not miss an episode. And that's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Every freaking episode of that.
I was like, are we talking about TV shows in general or just 80 shit? No. So, because I grew up long after that. I did watch reruns of MacGyver, though. That was fun.
Yes.
Angus MacGyver, anybody? Yeah. We missed you, Richard Dean Anderson. We miss you. I know you're doing a lot of other things, but dude, I'm always going to remember you as MacGyver. Not so much the guy from Stargate SG-1. I'm sorry. Anyway, I like Stargate.
Right.
I just prefer MacGyver.
Yeah.
But anyway.
MacGyver was a much smarter kind of guy. He could make anything out of anything. It was cool.
That was it.
Can you make this out of chewing gum? Why, you got some? Anyway, what's a show that I watched I never missed an episode from beginning? That is a very good question. Well, I mean, here's the sad thing about my life. I've watched a lot of shows that only lasted 1 minute, like one season. So I know that doesn't really
Yeah, it
count.
does. I'm kind of talking ones that had some
No, you're
kind
right.
of
That doesn't
longevity.
count.
Yeah.
Doesn't count. I can't think of one off the top of my head because every show I jump into too late or too early. I don't know. I can't think of anything that lasted more than one season because all the shows I've seen. This is so pathetic about my life. I can't think of any. I'm gonna have to get back to you. Let my people call your people on Wall Street. But anyway,
is there anything you're binging right now, Ryan?
You know what? Now that I think about it, there is one show I did watch from beginning to end that I never missed an episode of. 2 of them actually, and they're both from the same people because they made both shows: Friday Night Lights, Clear Eyes, Full Hearts Can't Lose, and Parenthood.
Oh wow!
The reboot, not the one from not the TV show that existed for 2 minutes in the 90s that never happened, but
right.
The show with Lauren Graham and Craig T. Nelson and all those guys, like Dax Shepard. I watched all 6 seasons of that, and I watched all 5 seasons of Friday Night Lights. Clear Eyes, Full Hearts Can't Lose, son. So there you go. And they're both from creator Jason Katims and Brian Grazer. So thank you, Hollywood.
Nice.
Yeah,
one show that I'm really digging now is it's on Netflix called Arcane. Did you guys see it? It's from the it's taken from a video game. It's called Arcane. It's a League of I don't
League
play
of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Nope, it's actually a game. The League of what? What's
League of Legends.
League of Legends, right? It's actually, but it's called Arcane. It's on Netflix. Highly recommended. My goodness, talk about a show, Pops, that I'll never miss an episode of. Now that's for sure.
I just thought of another one I watched from beginning to end. Justified on FX.
Oh
yeah, Justified, baby, because I love westerns. I think Western, which by the way, Lori and I did a discussion about westerns not too long ago on my channel, which you can go and find on the Western Celebration video. But yeah, I did. Oh, man, westerns, man. Justified is a damn good show. Oof, that was gold.
I go back and what I do is I get all the free streaming services, and I got one show on each one that I'm watching.
Oh God,
right?
There you go.
I can't.
So just one show on each one that I'm rather than get lost like in 50 shows on one and miss all that other stuff. So I'm watching Kung Fu again.
Nice.
I'm in the 2nd season of Kung Fu. That's wonderful.
David Carradine,
I'm watching Cobra Kai, of course. Okay, every time they drop something there, I'm over there catching that for sure.
Cobra Kai never dies, son.
There is a new one on Netflix called Interior Chinatown.
Wow, never heard of that.
It has the girl Quake from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a detective in the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's kind of hot. So yeah,
there you go.
Might work.
Kung Fu is on Pluto.
Yeah.
Kung Fu is on Pluto. Yes.
So is CSI. That's for free on Pluto.
Yeah. I mean, you just look around, man, and you will find Emergency, all them old shows that we watched when we were young, right? They're all still out there to be found.
Dallas, St. Elsewhere.
Yes.
You just got to do a little looking. You know.
Yeah. Who shot JR? Anyway,
but what a difference
that goes back 100
exactly.
years.
But what a difference in watching TV, right? You like the show back then, like we mentioned before. There's no VCRs even before then. You just got to see the show if you did. As opposed to now, you see a show, you can watch, you could binge watch it. So how much does that change in the viewing experience? I'm wondering, because if you think about it, right? People write a show, they write an episode per episode. There's probably a reason. There's probably a lot you can contemplate after an episode till you hit the next one. But when you binge watch it,
that's why I jump to I'll watch an episode.
Oh, there you go, Pop. Okay.
Right? And then I'll jump to Netflix and I'll watch an episode of Interior Chinatown. And then I'll jump, right? See, I just jump and so I have time to process. I don't binge watch 8 episodes or something and then I forgot what happened in the 2nd episode of season 2 because I'm on 8 now. And I didn't take any time to process it. So this way, I got time to think about it. And then when I get back around to Pluto again, more Kung Fu. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like great. I read 8 books at a time too. I'll read a chapter. I'll put it down. I'll pick up a different book. I'll read a chapter.
I'm doing that right now with 4 books on my bookshelf, which is weird. I read 1 chapter, 2 chapters of one, then I go to the other one because I'm so excited about these stories and these characters. It's like
you don't get confused though. None of you guys get confused though.
Well,
you mix stories of Hey, wait a minute. I don't remember this dragon in this Western.
No, I mean, it depends on the story I'm reading.
Okay.
It depends.
Okay.
For me, it's a case-by-case basis, but I'm pretty good about keeping track because The Purple Mystique is a quick read by Charles F. Millhouse. # always promote your friends. StormgatePress.com. He's a good man, Charles F. Millhouse. Look him up. He writes new pulp stories. Bobby Nash is a new pulp writer. He's a great friend of mine.
Cool.
I'm reading Snow Hunt right now, which is part of his Abraham Snow PI series, which is really good. What else is sitting on my thing back here that I'm reading? Oh, I'm reading Justice League Superheroes by Paul Dini and Alex Ross. That never hurt anyone, right? Because Alex Ross is kind of the GOAT. So
nice.
And I'm a big Alex Ross fan because the thing that got me into comics to begin with was Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross.
There you go.
So thank you, DC, for showcasing these heroes as old people and seeing what happens when they actually evolve and change, and not just rebooting the same character every 2 minutes. It's like, oh, Superman's in Smallville. Well, how old is he this year? He's 25. Wait a minute, he was like 38 in the last issue. No, this is a reboot. I'm like, what? What's a reboot? What the frack does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that even mean? Exactly.
In the comic book industry, whatever happened to continuity? Oh no, there really is no continuity. We just rebooted every 50 issues. I'm like, what? What does that mean? Doesn't make any sense.
Let me ask you a question, since you guys are into media and watching shows and all.
Dude, I've been into media since I was 4.
Absolutely. Media, movies, all of it. What was that one movie, comic show that the world flipped over, but you didn't get it? You said to yourself, oh my gosh, why is everyone flipping for this? This is garbage. Like, what was that one contradiction that the world flipped over, but yet you said to yourself, and I'll give you mine as you contemplate. You know what mine was?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, that was for you. Rocky Horror. Okay. That's a cool classic.
I didn't get why everybody was dancing in the theater and shit. I was like
throwing spoons at the one dude with a suit on. Yeah,
I didn't get it. And I'm sorry for all the people that did.
No, it's to each their own. You know what they say, right? To each their own. It's okay.
How about you, Ryan? What was that one thing that, you know?
Is it something like I saw and I just thought, like, I don't get why people are obsessed with this kind of thing? Is that what you mean? Okay, so that's another hard question. Jeez. I don't like these kinds of questions in the middle of the night when my brain is mush and I've been working since 6 a.m. this morning. But anyway, all right, here's one because I just saw this not too long ago. So let's go with this one, for example.
Okay.
Because I'm a film connoisseur. I've loved film since I was 4, and I'm never going to stop loving film. And I like exploring film. I like watching it. I like reciting quotes from it because I have a sharp memory, motherfrackers. So here's my problem. I saw 2 movies from the same guy, and I just didn't understand why people are obsessed with these films and why they hold them in such regard, like top 100 on the AFI list.
Okay.
2 of them. 2001: A Space Odyssey and A Clockwork Orange. I'm like, what the frack are you guys? Like, what the frack are you guys even smoking back there? Because these movies are so overrated and so overblown.
Wow. Okay.
I'm like, I don't give a crap about what. I mean, the guys died at the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then on A Clockwork Orange, you don't really cheer for anybody. There's no one to root for. Everyone's a horrible, terrible, no
everyone
good.
Is horrible. Yeah, everyone's horrible.
There's no. That's a great word I'm looking for. What's the word that we use in storylines? Protagonist. There's no protagonist.
Right.
And the other thing that bothers me, and I saw this movie too not too long ago. I respect it for what it was when it was made in 1939, but Gone with the Wind. I mean, it's one of the most depressing, overbearing 4-hour-long films because they have a 20-minute intermission between Act 1 and Act 2.
Right.
We had in the theater. I saw this in the theater, by the way, gentlemen. Wow. And I'm like, what the? And then when the woman's like, what should I go? What should I do? And then Gable gives.
Did you go to the theater when they colorized it? Did you go see it when they colorized it? Is that why you went to the theater?
It was a colored version. So I'm just like, what the frack? Like, this makes no sense. It's so boring. It's depressing. Everyone is sad and upset, and the girl wants her husband back, but the husband doesn't want her. And I'm like, there's no one to root for in this silly of a film. And listen, I respect the cast because the cast was big for the time.
Sure.
But if I had to pick between Gone with the Wind and Wizard of Oz, I'm going to rewatch Wizard of Oz with Judy freaking Garland. Because by the way, I saw the biopic a few years ago called Judy with Renee Zellweger as Judy Garland. That is a fantastic biopic.
Yes.
And not only that, Judy Garland, I feel so bad for her about how she was abused by the studio system and how she was abused by her ex-husbands. I mean, all of a sudden, and the drug abuse that she went through. I mean, she went through a lot, but she was such a talented, beautiful woman.
Right.
You know, and when you see her in Wizard of Oz, she's beautiful, she's kind, she's smart, she's got the hair and everything. But there was trouble behind the scenes when they were making that movie with her.
Right.
Unfortunately, it wasn't her fault either. It was the executives abusing her. And I'm like, if I were a man and I was living in that time period, I would have defended Judy Garland. I would have come to her side and be like, you know what, Judy, you don't need this. You're better than this. You don't need this kind of abuse. I would have tried to help her in any way, shape, or form because she's such a talented actress.
Sure. But you guys picked some good ones, damn it. The titles you picked from Gone with the Wind, Clockwork Orange,
2001,
Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean, these are things that people love.
Overrated.
Overrated.
I love you said that about 2001 because that to me was the most boring science fiction movie.
You know what I do? If you get upset at somebody and they ask you to do something, all I say to them is you insert that person's name in the first part of the sentence, right? You say, "I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that." So if someone asks me to do something at work that I'm not comfortable doing, I'm like, "I'm sorry, Mike. I'm afraid I can't do that." So that's the best thing I can give you from 2001 is that when you're upset about something, you don't feel like doing something that day, you can just say, "I'm sorry, insert person's name here. I'm afraid I can't do that." No, I'm not gonna open the pod bay doors, Hal. I'm not gonna do it. By the way, this is my good friend Philip Miller. He says, "Hello, Ryan. The scene where they fall asleep in the snow was actually asbestos. Wow, which caused long-term neurological issues to the cast. Good Lord. Wow. Oh, they fall asleep in the poppy seed field in Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
Clockwork Orange for me was just a comedy.
Thank you, Philip.
It was a comedy. To me, it was just, are you kidding? Really? The toothpicks, the prying the eyes open and making dude watch the whole thing. To me, I was laughing. I thought it was funny.
I thought
but
it was
not
personally,
but not something I'm going to line up to watch again on a regular basis.
A lot of movies are one and done for
funny.
me.
Yeah, it was just funny, but I don't need to see it again. It wasn't Happy Gilmore. Okay, I can watch that movie. I can watch that movie 10 times a week.
Right. Wait a minute, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Yes, see.
By the way, he was one of the first guys I ever met at a convention was Chris McDonald, Shooter McGavin. He was a great guy.
Oh, cool. Man.
I loved meeting him. He was so cool and chill, and he signed an 8x10 of black and white from the set of the movie of him holding his golf club up in the air. It's one of those golf poses, right? And he's got the sweater around his neck. And I'm like, dude, that's so Shooter. Like, that's just he was so cool. He was one of the first celebs I ever met at conventions, and he was one of the chillest, like, cool. You would think that playing a jerk on television, he may be a jerk in real life, but no, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, true.
He's chill. And then and then we started quoting a little bit of Happy, and then we started quoting his time on Harry's Law with Kathy Bates, which was on NBC for a little while. And I was like, man, it was so much fun. Son of a bitch, Paul. Why don't you just go home?
Ryan will be a great host of this show because he will have his own stories to add.
Maybe.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, he's met a lot of people. I ain't met as many people as Ryan has. Okay.
I've been doing conventions, Eddie, for 12 years. So I've met a lot of big names in the sea, man.
He's got more to offer this show than I do. You see, this is my whole thing. I'll start a show, and if people watch it, I'll look for somebody who's more talented than I am to carry the show on. Okay. He has way more to offer this show than I do. And that's why I'm giving it to him. It's like, take this show, make it better. And I know he will. Okay. And, it's going to be good.
I hope so. I hope I do a good job. We'll wait and see. This is my warm up, but, Act 1, starts next week. So you got to get excited. And the other thing is I got to find a guest for next week. Oh my God. I got homework to do.
I will try to help you if at some point you're like, Pops, I can't find anybody for this week. I'll go out and throw out the
get the Rolodex out of your desk.
Yeah. I mean, I'll throw out the call, but I will let you do the booking as much as you can.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm pretty good about it. It is.
But if you need my help for anything, you let me know. We got you.
Pops, first of all, thank you. Second of all, I'm grateful for this opportunity. And thirdly, I wish I had a pair of shades that I could wear and pull off this great promo that was pulled off many years ago where a gentleman says, sweeping Freewheeling Fridays completely clean, doing the thing, like no one has ever done before. Yeah. DM Ray, it's been a while since I've seen you in the Boston Garden.
What's going on, brother?
And I think that even though you're you can't beat the Macho King Ryan the quote. Yeah, because don't look.
What you gonna do when the superpowers?
Yeah, right on top of you. Yeah, Ooh, yeah. By the way, DM Ray, aka Ray Jameson, if you want to be on next week and be my first guest of this new era that we're going to be starting, just DM me, man. We'll hook you up, man.
Dude,
Because I know DM Ray. He's a good guy. I trust him. He's been on my show a couple times in the past. How many times have you been on?
He
You've
was
been on like 3 times.
He was on Anybody who's made it through Killer Karen is welcome on any show.
Well, DM Ray's been on my show
right,
3
Pop.
times,
Yep.
so I think it's fair to say that I like Ray. He and I have a lot in common. Oh, he says done. Great. So we look how fast we did this, folks. I've been here for 2 minutes and 35 seconds, even though that's completely inaccurate because I suck at math. And now Ray is saying he wants to be on my debut show next week. So that's great. Oh, you said twice. Okay, so you've been on twice. Yeah. Don't worry, Ray. We're gonna get
you got something to say?
We're gonna get you on the show next on my show another time too. Yes. Who let the dogs out? Somebody back there in production?
Come back here.
Where's the can of spray paint so I can spray paint on this set? Because I grew up watching pro wrestling, Eddie. So
yeah. Excellent, man.
I grew up watching pro wrestling. I grew up watching NASCAR. I grew up watching movies, TV series. I didn't start reading comics until Batman Day 2017, if you can believe that.
Okay.
But hey, you know what they say, man? Better late to this party than never when it comes to reading comics, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, so what was the first thing that resonated with you? Like out of all these things,
it was a mixture of 2 books. One of them was definitely Kingdom Come, which is my favorite graphic novel / comic of all time. I got the trade paperback signed by Mark Waid. That was fantastic. And then the other thing that got me into comics, aside from that, it was a combination of a couple of different paperbacks. Because when I went to my local comic shop, because my friends were trying to convince me to go to this comic shop for a long time, and I kept telling them no. I kept giving him the Howie, the game show look. No deal, Howie. No deal. Right. So then finally they convinced me to go to, and I'm going to give these guys a shout out because they deserve all the recognition. Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland. All right. Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland. So let's give Third Eye a shout out. So I went over there. Woman walks up to me and she says, "Hey, is this your first time here?" What gave it away? Have you ever read a comic before? I'm like, no. Well, what do you like to read? Well, I grew up watching TV shows like Spider-Man and X-Men and like Batman, that kind of thing. She says, "Follow me. I got something for you." I'm like, all right. So we go to the back of the room, right? And there's this rack that says new readers recommendations or something like that. So it's this whole,
what's
shelf.
on that rack, man? Okay.
It's a rack of paperbacks. Okay. These are trade paperbacks, just to be more specific with you. So there was Kingdom Come, there was X-Men House of M, for those of you who follow X-Men, House of M, if anybody remembers that. And then there was the Long Halloween, Batman the Long Halloween. There was Nightfall. There was, there was the classic Batman story, The Killing Joke. There was, a lot of the classic title. There was Watchmen. There was Watchmen was a big one, right? That was an 80s thing, right? Alan Moore. You had League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You had Superman Red Sun, right? Superman Red Sun. Anybody remember that?
Yep. There goes Watchmen.
Did you say Watchmen? Did you say? Come on, green screen.
But the question I have for you, Pops, is who is watching the Watchmen? Sorry, that's a tagline. I look at all these books and I'm like, well, I grew up on X-Men, the animated series, and I love X-Men. It's a great analogy for so many different issues that are going on in the world, and I love X-Men. So I picked up House of M, Kingdom Come, and I think I got the Long Halloween that day too. And I read all 3 of them, and I'm like, if this is what comic books and graphic novels are, shut them and take all my money, please. Especially with Kingdom Come had the biggest impression on me, so I just want to give that a shout out, as if I haven't done so 50 times already in the last 2 minutes of this show. But I'm a DC guy because Superman is my #1 favorite character. And the reason for that is a little TV show that I didn't binge watch all the episodes when they first aired, but I binge watched them as I got the DVDs and I got into season 5, Smallville. Smallville was a huge influence. Huge influence.
Watching that too. I'm in the 3rd season of that one. That's on
baby.
that one's on
By the way,
CW.
the 3rd season is a dark season, and I love that. So Smallville is a huge thing. I love that show. I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of the members of the cast over the years. It's been great. House of M is a favorite of mine. There you go. See, Ray, we're simpatico here. We even shop at the same store. Sorry, that's a Beetlejuice quote. But anyway, just don't say his name 3 times. Say it once, say it twice, 3rd time's a charm. Anyway, I've watched too many movies. God damn it. But yeah, no. So Smallville is what made me a Superman fan, and it got me through a really rough time. And I got to get
my grandson onto Smallville, who had no idea there was a teenage super.
There was like an origin story of Clark Kent. It's really a Clark Kent origin story if you think about it. But and also, I don't know if you knew this or not, Pops. Did you know that Smallville continued as a comic book for season 11 after the show ended after season 10?
I think I knew, but I haven't read.
I have all the trade paperbacks. It's excellent, Smithers. I have it all because I'm a Smallville fan, like diehard. So I have all the paperbacks in a box somewhere in my storage unit, which isn't here right now. That's somewhere else. But I love Superman and I love the Justice League. I love Smallville. I'm always going to love Smallville. I mean, recently, I'll tell you a quick story here, Eddie. I met Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville earlier this year, and I waited 18 years to meet these guys.
Wow.
18 years. And I walked up to Tom and I said, Tom, Michael, if it weren't for that 100th episode of Reckoning, which is the first episode I ever saw of your show, that was the 100th episode, season 5, episode 12. # I know too much for my own good. That it was the spoiler alert. It's the episode where Jonathan Kent dies.
Okay.
And I had lost my dad 6 weeks prior to that episode going on the air.
Oh, okay.
So that really hit me in the feels and it hit me in the heart. It's like, dude, I feel for Clark. I understand what he's going through because I'm going through the exact same thing. I didn't know that Clark Kent / Superman could be this relatable. I just didn't know he could be that, because I know that Jonathan Kent has died in the previous iterations of the movies and the comics, but I didn't read that stuff and I didn't really pay much attention to the Christopher Reeve films growing up. Like I watched them, but I didn't really pay too much attention to them.
Right.
But and nothing against Chris. Chris Reeve is a great guy and great Superman. But Smallville was so relatable.
Smallville came into your house every week.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. It came to me in the right place at the right time under the right circumstances. Yeah. Even though it was under somewhat tragic circumstances, it still came in at the right circumstances. Because if I had watched that show long after or long before my dad had died, I don't think the episode 100 would have hit me as hard as it did. So you know what they say, right? Timing is everything in this business.
Of course.
So
of course.
Smallville, God bless every single person that worked to make that show what it was for 10 seasons, okay? 10 seasons and 218 episodes of American television. That is insane. That is unheard of. It is the longest running superhero comic book series in the history of television.
Yeah.
The Flash came this close to beating it, but it didn't, thank God.
Right.
Arrow lasted 8 seasons, right? Legends of Tomorrow only lasted like 6 or 7. So it's like all these other shows that came after Smallville, they don't hold a candle to Smallville. Cool. Like they've done some good storylines here and there, yes, but nothing, in my professional opinion, holds a candle to what Smallville did. Smallville was the predecessor. That is the trendsetter. If it weren't for Smallville, none of the shows that you see on the CW today would have been possible. None of them. Not one of them.
Yep.
So if you're watching this and you're not familiar with Smallville, I strongly advise you to go on Hulu / Disney Plus. # not a sponsor. But if they want to be, call me maybe, and then we can make a deal. But all the seasons are streaming on Disney Plus / Hulu right now. So if you've never seen
put the madness on Hulu, we can put the madness on Hulu.
We can put it on Roku. We can put it on Hulu. It doesn't matter to me. But Smallville is my bread. It is my butter. It is my reason for living. It is my reason I kept on fighting after my dad died. So it's like,
that's cool.
Anyone asks me what makes me a nerd and what like is the moment that constituted me, like cementing my life as a nerd, it's Smallville getting me through the death of my own father. So
sure.
God bless America and God bless Smallville, brother. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, I gotta know. I know you're working on your next one.
Yes.
So how far away are we from sign up page?
I'm thinking the middle of next year. If not, maybe the 4th month. That's my goal, between the 3rd and 4th month in April. Yeah. Because remember, the whole thing's written, right? It was a movie script and it's all into a comic strip now. And so it's really just getting the artists doing some tweaks. I really starting to listen to a lot of people who know the story already.
That's good.
And, they're kind of giving me some really great advice in terms of direction and things like that. It's not going to change a lot in terms of what the original script was, but definitely it's going to be a lot quicker in the process. That's for sure.
Okay, cool. I just want to build a time frame around when I'm going to be promoting your next book.
Yes, probably March or April. How about that? Well, I'll start it off early because I'll have artwork probably in February. So
March Madness, brother. Yeah. And hey, that's where I'm going to be tuning into college basketball because that's when college basketball heats up during March Madness, brother.
March Madness.
Yeah. And our new show, the ID show, those guys are basketball fans. They will be covering March Madness throughout.
I want to be in on that. I want to sit down and talk with those guys because I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm an NC State Wolfpack fan. Ooh, yeah. So I'm all ready to talk about NC State or Notre Dame. I'm ACC all the way through. I know that probably hurts a couple of people in this.
He said Notre Dame.
Well, listen, because my family's part Irish, and also I like the fact that the women won the ACC tournament last year. Which, by the way, fun fact: I didn't start watching college basketball until the ACC tournaments came around, and I saw the women's Notre Dame basketball team win their championship, and then I saw NC State Wolfpack win the men's ACC tournament. So it's like I was watching one night and I really enjoyed it. I'm like, you know what? I kind of like this stuff. So I'm going to like it now. And then I went on fanatics.com and like bought a whole bunch of swag. So yeah. Oh, by the way, I just had a classmate pass away. He was my age. Very interesting type. Wow. Sorry to hear about that, Philip. My heart goes out to that person's family and loved ones. But
I just want to say, as an old guy, something you all need to prepare yourself for. The older we get, the more people we lose, whether it's the people that we're fans of, family members, friends. The older we get, the more people we lose. And you're never going to get, it's never going to be easy, guys.
No.
If you love your people, it's never going to be easy. So prepare yourself for the fact that the longer you live, the more of your people you're going to see pass before you. It just sucks.
But what I really like about the story, even what you shared with us tonight, Ryan, about how that show resonated with you. And
big time.
Of having with your dad. It's just good to know that, you know, somewhere out there, some force, some entity kind of connected that for you. And whatever you want to label it, you can. But whatever it was, that thing kind of helped you kind of get stronger and get through that hard time. So that's a blessing, man. That's
really it is. Dope. And I've met a lot of the cast too. I'm just missing a few more names to my Smallville repertoire. But other than
have you told them that story, Ron? Have you told the ones that you met the story?
I mean, I told Tom and Michael the story, but I didn't tell John Glover. I didn't tell Allison Mack before she was arrested. Didn't tell Erica. I didn't tell Aaron. I just, because their lines were moving so kind of quickly, I couldn't really have too much. Where I was with Tom and Michael, I had a little bit more time. But the other superstar, which by the way, I've had a crush on Laura Vandervoort and Erica Durance forever.
See, look, I didn't know that was Erica in freaking Black Sails until you said something, and I immediately figured out who it was.
Yeah, it's.
I didn't realize that was her. She looks so much different.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. But yeah, I've met the cast. I've told them that I really like the show. I enjoyed their time on the show, and Superman's my #1 favorite character. And I got a photo op with a lot of members of the cast. That was sweet. But the best photo op I ever got was with Tom and Michael, because I'm wearing my Smallville cosplay that day. And I told them, I said, I've waited 18 years to wear this outfit for you guys, because I love the show so hard. And you can see it. It's going to be featured here on the Madness Network at some point or another, because I sent Pop some pictures and some other promotional stuff to add to the descriptions down below, or you can just look it up on my Instagram.
Just click on them because they're down there.
The links are there. Okay, well, that's just splendid because people know what they're doing. But yeah, no, Superman's my dog, man. He just is. Like, someone said to me the other day, it's like, what fan are you going to, because originally I was supposed to have this one friend of mine on tonight, and he couldn't make it at the last minute. Schedules come up all the time. He says, what are you going to talk about? I said, I'm a big DC guy, so I'm probably going to talk about Superman. I'm like, dude, you're preaching to the choir, man. You want to talk about Superman and DC universe all night? Let's go. Because I've read I've read some of the comics, I've read the graphic novels, I've watched the movies, I've watched some of the TV shows, and it's just like, I can live in the DC universe or Marvel universe for that matter, because I grew up on Spider-Man and X-Men like anyone else. Spider-Man's a great character, but I'm more of an X-Men fan. But man, X-Men's such a great analogy, man. It's because I use X-Men as an analogy for autism, because I work with autistic adults at one of my jobs. So it's a great analogy. And X-Men is one of the best, longest comic runs in the history of comics. And the other thing is, not a lot of them, but some of the movies from X-Men are really, really good. And I'm just like, dude, I can watch these all day. I still watch the original X-Men from 2000 like 30 times a year.
Right.
Because I love it, because it's an introduction to these characters. And the Senate hearing in the very beginning of the movie between Jean Grey and Senator Kelly, who's like trying to register the Mutant Registration Act. It's like, dude, I can like see that, like I can see this playing out in the actual like government of the United States when it comes to autistic people trying to get like more rights or trying to get independent housing or independent living, because it's such a certain issues with autistic individuals is a big deal. So it's like, when Jean Grey is saying this, like people who have come out publicly with whatever have been met with fear, hostility, even violence. And I'm like, well, some people with autism are mistreated, and that's unfair. But it depends on how granted, everyone on the autism spectrum is very different. So you got to keep that into account.
Right. It is a spectrum. Yep.
It's a very, man, I'm a high functioning autistic. I look like a jar of vanilla ice cream, but when you peel back these layers, motherfracker, you'll know that I'm a very, very extraordinary individual. Hashtag I'm an X-Men fan. Deal with it.
I got 2 motherfrackers out of Ryan's in like one show.
I know. I can't help it. I do my best not to curse, but then again, I curse sometimes because I just feel the need. I have to.
Well, I mean, we do our best. We do.
We have fun, but we have fun. I mean,
That's-
Eddie's having fun. And by the way, Eddie, congratulations on your campaign, and congratulations on, coming into the fray as a comic book creator and a writer and producer, and also you're doing these Kickstarters now, and you're getting your feet wet, right? You're getting your feet wet. So this is like your first week/month in school, right?
Right.
Getting your feet wet, and which is great. And now that you have this first month or so at school under your belt, now you're going to take the next step, and then you're going to take a step after that. And when you do that, you're going to get bigger, you're going to get stronger, you're going to get faster. In the words of the 1989 movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, you know what? I'll make you a little bet. If you were on these weights for 3 months, you're going to be throwing farther, you're going to be running faster, and you're going to be hitting harder than anybody else on that team.
Right. Rick Moranis, right?
Well, no, that was actually Matt Frewer who was giving that lecture to
his
that's
son,
right.
Rusty
Jr.
Right,
and then he also tells him, you're going to gain, you know what I did when I was on these weights? I put on 20 pounds of pure unadulterated blitz quarterback and rip his head off. You're going to do it, Eddie, because we believe in you, and Pops believes in you, right? Pops believes in you. I believe in you. And the fact that you call your book End of Zed, which I got a Power Ranger reference up in my head, even though it has nothing to do with your story.
See, you had the Power Ranger reference, and I had the Rush reference.
Oh, I've listened. Okay. I've listened to.
Nice, Pops. Yeah,
I've listened to some of Rush music. It's not bad.
Yes,
I don't mind it actually. It's not, too shabby. Is that the word? I don't know. I like the '80s. You know why, Eddie? Because most of my favorite films are from the '80s. So.
Sure.
Yeah, and we're doing a lot of '80s movie anniversary watch-alongs next year on Anti-Code Channel. You might want to tune in, if not be on the panel for that.
Well, I'm going to be watching this show now, Ryan. This is my first time really, I saw you in one show, which was really cool. But seeing you tonight on this really goes to show that Pops, you picked the winner, man, because I think this is really going to be something, man.
I've trained for many years in the Force, so trust me, I'm a Jedi.
There you go.
I'm also a massive Star Wars fan, so you're probably going to hear some Star Wars references as we go along.
And Pops, you're going to be missed, man. I wanted just to get on. Listen, the Kickstarter was over, and that really didn't matter. I just wanted to get on your show. That's also why I wore this shirt for you, Pops. I don't know if you can see it. The coolest pop.
Oh my God!
There you go.
I gotta get you one of these.
Hell, I need one of those.
I'm gonna get you one of those, okay, Pops? Because really, you've done a lot for a lot of people, and thank you. Really, thanks for thanks for everything you've done.
What's up, Levi?
And really looking forward to
another one of our. That's another one of our guys right there, Levi. Levi, I have.
I was gonna say, do I know Levi? I don't think I do.
You might meet him real soon. Tomorrow, I have somebody, Levi, asking me to do an impromptu draw stream so they can join us because they never get to join us on Sunday. So if you want to, Levi, let's do a draw stream tomorrow afternoon, just out the blue, because sketchy guy, Nevada, Cameron Ferguson, the guy who sent me all those prints, he wants to be on a draw stream, and he can't never do Sundays. So he's like, will you do it? I said, yeah, we'll do it. So there you go. Tomorrow, guys, like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, something in the afternoon, we're going to throw a little open draw stream at you, impromptu Saturday version.
I can't believe how fast it is to book guests on this network. I should have been on this network a long time ago. I'm doing everything wrong.
Half the time. Well, like one thing I've always done, like Madness special editions, I have a lot of shows, but there's always that guy that can't make it. None of them fit their time schedule or whatever. I'll come out and do a Madness special edition and make sure they get airtime, right? If I'd have known Eddie's campaign was ending so fast, I'd have tried to do that, but we got crossed on time zones and everything the first time I wanted him out here. But we won't make them mistakes no more.
And you're going to be one of the first people I call, Pops. I promise you that. Especially like
everybody, look, you hit me up. I'm going to say, there's this show, there's this show, there's this show. I'm going to hook you up with the people that host those shows and get you on those shows. I mean, that's the whole purpose.
Yes, they do, Pop. Yep.
When somebody calls me and says, hey, Pops, I want to do a draw stream. And it's like, he goes, do you got any shows tomorrow? And I'm like, well, not open draw stream, but we can make one really easy, So thanks, Levi. I'm gonna let him know right now that we will do it.
I guess it goes back to that old saying we learned when we were children: when there's a will, there's a way. You just gotta put your best foot forward, Eddie.
That's it. Yes, sir.
Which, I try to do every day. I host 2 to 3 shows a week, and now I'm going to be doing like 3 or 4. So it's just my workload is going to explode, man. But the good news is FreeWheeling Friday is an open forum, so I can do whatever the heck I want and get away with it because the FCC can't find me. So, because it's the Late Show with David. No, I'm not David Letterman, but I will say I'm much better than him and better looking than him. And I'm probably better than half the late night talk shows that have been running for 25 years, because someone needs to get some of these guys off the air and let me do it. But Hollywood hasn't wised up yet, and they probably never will. So, you know what the other thing that bugs me, Eddie, is that they didn't hire the real Ryan to be the new host of Wheel of Fortune. They hired that other weird dude, Seacrest, whatever his name is.
Right.
I don't know why they didn't call me.
The fake Ryan, I know.
I said that to my class today when I was teaching my class about film analysis. I said, you know what, guys? You know what bugs me is that they called this fake Ryan over here to be the new host of Wheel of Fortune. They didn't call the real Ryan, which is me. So it's a poor imitation he's doing. It's terrible. And then one of my students looks at me and she says, I don't know why he needs to host like another show, because he hosts like 40,000 shows a year. I'm like, yeah, he does. I don't know why he needs this one. Why didn't you just call me? It's that simple. You get on the phone, you dial the number, you hire me with a good deal and good percentage, and I can go in there, hang out with Vanna White, because I've been to South Carolina where she's from. I know the area where she's from. I think it's a wonderful area. South Carolina is a beautiful part of the country. And it's like, Vanna White and I can get along just fine.
Yes.
And look, if I can say, hey, Ryan, come do a show on the network, you can go, hey, Ryan, come do a show on our network. It's really easy. It's really easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just when I thought I wasn't going to be a part of this whole shebang, they pull me in. So, which thank you, because now I get to stretch my legs a little bit, go to different networks, do different kinds of things, maybe have some fun, do some familiar stuff, but also learn some stuff along the way. And plus, there's a huge network of people in this circle that there's some of them I'm not familiar with. Some of them I am, but some of them I'm not. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Brian, there's a whole network, a whole platform that we're going to be taking this show to that you're not familiar with.
Yeah, we want to go to Roku, right? Is that where we want to go?
No, there's a platform called Pill.net. And it's a small platform, but it has a huge fan interaction ratio compared to when I look at how many followers I have on Facebook or on YouTube, and I compare the viewer ratio over there. It's like, yeah, we get a lot more people watching what we're doing over there. So I've been migrating some shows to that platform and seeing what bites, seeing what people like. I'm pretty sure they're going to like you over there. So, we'll probably be sending this show to a whole platform that's unfamiliar with you. So,
like I said, it's a win-win. If Anti-Quote Channel and myself get more exposure, hey, it's more power to us. Isn't that right, Pops? So,
exactly.
Everybody wins here, man. This is a win-win for everybody, especially Eddie over here being one of the newer kids on the block with Kickstarters.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I have the platform where to go to now, right? I have some friends that I can go to now, and
you know what, Eddie?
Wares,
you know what, Eddie? I'm gonna have to get you back here on FreeWheeling Fridays. You and I need to have a more extended conversation.
Without me in the way. Yeah, I know. I'm distracted.
No. We can get it. Well, just out of curiosity, Pops, is it a one-on-one show that I do on Fridays, or can I have like 2 or 3 people on here?
It's your show.
All right, creative freedom is what it's called. All right, great.
You want to do a topic?
Eddie, if you're not busy next week, you want to grab a drink down at the brewery downtown, or what, man?
It's like this. If you want to do a topic panel one week, you can do that. If you want to do a straight interview with somebody the next week, if you want to do a freaking movie review the next week, I don't care, Ryan.
How about this, Eddie? Top 10 favorite graphic novels.
There you go. Absolutely.
Boom.
But I got even a better one for you. You know what I was thinking about? There's so many people in the scene that host their shows, like you and Pops and everything. Why don't you interview Pops or interview the other people that are in the scene?
I've already done that.
Yeah,
all at the same time, though. All at the same time, that would be great.
No, that's going to be too much chaos for my blood pressure. Trust me.
Let me tell you what happens, Eddie. A lot of times, what happens is I'll bring somebody new out, like yourself, to interview them for the first time. And they ask me questions just as much as I ask them questions. And that's not what I'm trying to do.
Right.
I'm not trying to get Pops interviewed every week. You know what I mean?
I got you.
But it always turns into that, because if it's somebody new, they don't know my story either.
Right.
And they're like, it's always, Pops, how'd you end up start doing this?
Right.
And before you know it, I'm talking about me. And the show's not supposed to be about me.
Right.
I'm just a comic fan who tried to help people during COVID. And the fucking story. This is where I'm at now. I mean, Farkin story.
No, sorry. He Jerry Maguired this, Eddie. Help you, help me, help you, help me, help you, help me, help you. He Jerry Maguired this whole thing, and now look where we're at. We got billions of people watching every week. We got dozens of shows. on this network. I'm going to be taking over Freewheeling Fridays and hopefully taking it in a very awesome, tacular direction. We'll see how it goes next week with my debut.
Right.
But and then we're going to get DM Ray as my first guest. Which, by the way, thank you, Ray. I love you, brother. And Eddie, if you want to come in here and say hello to Ray and I, you're more than welcome to come back, brother.
Absolutely, I would love to.
We can talk more comics because you and I got to talking a little bit of it, but we need to scratch more of this glacier or surface that you were talking about.
Well, I'm excited, man.
And we got to talk about movies too, because you and I didn't really get a chance to talk too much about the film aspect of this whole thing.
Well, that question I asked you guys earlier really is a very revealing question of what was that one movie that people went flipped over, but you didn't.
Yeah,
it says a lot about you. Because
you
know, there's a couple of. It's interesting. Ask a lot of people that are into movies that question. You'd be fascinated what they're going to come back and tell you. You know, mine is, and you guys may kick me off right now.
No.
What I'm going to tell you is actually sacrilegious. You're going to go, how the hell can you say that? And that is the movie that everyone flipped over.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still can't. I don't get it. It doesn't resonate with me, even though he's probably one of the best actors in American history. One of the most coveted movies that everyone loves. And the movie is Forrest Gump.
Wow.
Everyone and their mother loves that movie. And when I tell them that I can't stand the movie.
Dude, that movie's in my top 10.
See, there you go. So you ask people that question, you're going to eventually hit one where someone goes, holy crap, man, that's my top 10 movie. How do you feel that way? And it makes excellent discussion, Ryan.
It's okay.
Especially if they can,
Eddie,
get their argument right.
You can still come on next week, man. We're still friends. I'm not gonna, by the way, Eddie, if you haven't friended me on Facebook, you need to friend me on Facebook so you know I can have these conversations.
Okay, there you go.
But yeah, no, it's okay if you don't like Forrest Gump. Someone told me not too long ago they don't like that movie either. I'm just like, okay, well, I guess
it's not so much that I don't like it. It's just not one that I'm going back to the well for.
Okay, I hear you, Pops. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I used to rewatch it a lot when I was younger, but nowadays, now that it's 30 years old, by the way, hashtag those are the facts, I'm not watching it as much as I used to because I'm kind of like gravitating towards other films. So, by the way, Levi, that's a valid point. I've never seen the 3-hour version of Titanic all the way through, and the same with Avatar. Well, here's my problem with James Cameron, all right? I like Titanic because that's a biopic. It's not a biopic. It's a historical piece, even though it has the love story had nothing to do with the actual sinking of the ship. But it is a really well-made film. Like, it's a really well-made film. But my problem is James Cameron came up to me one day and he said, Ryan, I'm going to make 50 Avatar movies. What do you think about that? And I said, James, that's stupid because you're a filmmaker who should make a different film every time you put something in the theater. I don't want to see blue people having sex with other blue people flying away on this pterodactyl looking creature.
Well, maybe Mystique, but
Mystique was in the X-Men movies, but that's a different story for another day entirely. But what I'm saying is that Avatar in 2009 was a fine film, but I never found myself going back to it. I just never rewatched it because I'm like, okay, James, you've done your 3D thing. You've done your Avatar revolutionary filmmaking technique. Now I want you to create a new movie with a new story. And he says to me, no, I'm having too much fun with these Na'vi, the blue people. I want to make 5 more movies of this. And I'm like, James, you're kind of tarnishing your career to a degree because nobody, even though the second film made, I think, more money than the first, but that's not, I don't care what the money says. It's all about quality. All right. It's about quality, not quantity.
So that's how you qualify a good movie then, Ryan? If you see it more than once, that to you is your criteria for a good movie?
It's one of my criteria. Rewatchability, when it comes to movies, in my opinion, rewatchability is a huge factor.
Me too.
So I can rewatch The Breakfast Club any day of the week. Okay. I can rewatch Back to the Future any day. And heck, I can even watch The Terminator 10 times a week. But if I can't see myself watching Avatar 50 times. I can see myself watching maybe maybe not an Al Pacino movie, but a Clint Eastwood Western a couple of times because I like Unforgiven. But it's like I can find myself watching certain movies more times often than not compared to certain other films that have come out. Perfect example. Awesome Con is going down in Washington, D.C. in April in 2025. I've been to that convention 4 or 5 times. And the fact that they're having a reunion of the Goonies cast from 45 years ago and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cast, which is celebrating its 35th anniversary, respectively, I'm like, okay, you're covering both something that I grew up on because of my brothers was into it, and then you're covering something that I grew up on because the 90s is my decade.
Correct.
So it's like you're covering all these bases for me, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to Awesome Con because of the TMNT cast. That's the primary reason I'm going, because all the actors, the voice actors are going to be there. Judith Hogue April O'Neil is going to be there, and co-creator of the Ninja Turtles himself, Kevin Eastman, is going to be in the building. So
and what about Corey Feldman? Didn't Corey Feldman do
he
the
is going to be
voice?
there. He's the voice of
Wow.
Donatello. He is going to be there because he's a Goonies member, remember?
That's right.
So
That's right.
He's going to be there for two reasons. One,
Right.
the Goonies cast reunion and the TMNT cast reunion.
Yep.
I'm like, you know what?
Hopefully brings the guitar, man. He starts giving us that
Probably,
crazy riff.
when I saw him the first time, I think he had his
solo
guitar at his booth. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has his guitar at his booth at AwesomeCon, because I'm going to be there in April, guys. So you guys better book your tickets and book your flights and fly out to DC and see us.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Excellent. I just had a troop of people come through the front door, so it's about to get loud up in here.
Yeah, there's a party going on the other side of the country where we're not at. But yeah. Hey, this was fun. It was fun. Thanks for having us, guys. This was good. Let's look forward to next week with the big debut of yours truly taking over the ship here. Isn't that right, Eddie? So,
yes, I'll be there. I'll be there.
You will be there? Okay, so Eddie and Ray, myself,
Yep.
we're going to sit down. We're going to have a nice conversation. We're going to nerd out. We're going to freak out. We're going to have a good time. And I think
I'm just going to warn you, Ryan. Eddie is a hard man to get a hold of.
Okay, there you go. I don't know about that, Pop. I don't know about that. But yes. But I'm glad I made it though here, Pops. Really.
Yeah,
again.
Eddie and I are going to be DMing each other. We'll work this out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Make sure you connect. I had to do it through email.
Good God.
I had to find him through email. That's what I said. Email. Come on. Yes. He is on Instagram. If you're over there,
good. I'm on Instagram all the time. So
we'll hook up, Ryan.
You guys hook up over there.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, man. This was fun.
Yep. Absolutely, Pops.
Ryan, got to get you into the studio.
Yep.
And set yourself up with the studio of your own with your stuff in it sometime this week. Let me know.
Sure.
If I'm not live, I'm available.
Okay.
So,
I got you, man.
All right. It was great, man. I'm looking forward to this. Eddie's always great seeing you. Hope to see you again soon.
Yes.
Speaking of Ninja Turtles,
I need to get that book. I want to read that.
Okay.
I want to read that because I've met Rob Paulson, who was also the voice of Mighty Max in that animated series.
Right.
Dude, I asked him, I said, if Mighty Max ever got rebooted, would you come back and do it? He says, absolutely, I would.
Absolutely.
I'm like, yes, Mighty Max. So,
love it.
Yeah. By the way, Rob, the next time I see you, I'm going to have you sign my Mighty Max Blu-ray set. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Excellent.
All right. So we have this new outro.
Sure.
That represents every show that we have in the network right now. It takes 3.5 minutes for us to show you all the stuff.
That's a lot of content, don't you think?
But a nice, cute little song. Y'all, I hope you love the little jingle. Norm from the Three Beer Men sent us this.
Oh, God.
It's good stuff. Check it out. And we will see you tomorrow, Saturday Comic Talk at 12:30 p.m. Eastern with Ed Davis. And then we'll have an impromptu draw stream, and then the Stephen B. open draw stream, or the Stephen B. Boldcat draw stream, and then random stuff from John's long box. So tomorrow again, a full day of programming, people.
Busy day.
You know, we ain't gonna let you down. We're gonna keep bringing you good stuff.
Excellent. Thanks, guys, for everything. Rick, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Great to meet you, Eddie. You're the man.
Yes, we'll be in touch.
I will see all of you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.
Excellent. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Click on the tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. Hey! New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens day.